Hey guys, we're here today in Valheim to take another look at the static lights or night lights in the game and their brightness comparisons to kind of give an update. I've already done a video on this before, but as I mentioned in that previous video, I checked all the things that I knew of at that point that you could hang on an item stand or will give off a glow for a nightlight. Thankfully, a lot of you guys jumped in the comments and let me know of more items that I missed, so we are here again to check those couple items and see how they compare. And I'll give you a real quick summary of the first video if you haven't seen it, that way you don't need to go watch it. Essentially, the yellow mushroom, all of the meads you can hook to item stands, and the Surtling trophy have roughly the same glow aura, they just come in varying colors. The two best nightlights at that time were the Swamp Key and the Dragon Egg. Both give off a noticeably larger glow, with both of them seeming to give off better light when hung up higher in the air and casting their light down. Now on to some of the ones that I had missed. I did not include the stamina mead in with the other meads. It does give off a glow as well, but it is the exact same as the other two meads. Along with the fueling totem, it gives off a nice purple pinkish glow, but does not seem to be any bigger than the mushroom and the meads, although its aura is towards the top of it near the head as opposed to on the ground. Another one of the items mentioned to me was the stone golem trophy. I was not aware that these even existed, and especially not that they gave off light, because I am one of the people that run away from stone golems and let them be. So I really appreciate you guys pointing this one out. Its glow radius is much larger than obviously the meads and things like the Surtling trophy. It does not, however, seem to match the Dragon Egg, although it's roughly the same in size. However, this could just be because of the blue hue that it seems a little less bright, but it does have a really cool look to it, and the little floating sparklies coming off it can make for some cool designs. Another one of the larger items that can be used as a nightlight, but does not need to be hooked to any item stand, is the ward. Once you activate a ward, it starts glowing and gives off a very noticeable light to it, and is probably the best light I've seen to this point. And then there are actually quite a few items that when thrown on the ground give off a glow around them, and I'll show you the various one of those items that I know about right here. The kind of neat thing about these items is they can be stacked up and you can place more of them in a pile to create a larger glow radius. And it could make for some pretty neat designs by using maybe signs to create a small like lantern look or something, and then throwing a bunch in. And with this, you can make Surtling cores kind of look like hot coals if you were looking for that kind of look. The biggest annoyance and problem with this design, obviously, or using these items, is that there's an auto pickup in the game. So when you get back in the area of them, you will pick them up off the ground. So I'm not necessarily saying that using these as lights in a house would work, but if you're interested in giving it a shot, a couple important things to note is that the auto pickup range for items on the floor is 1.5 meters. So if you put this in a far corner of your home to try and use it as ambient lighting, it might work out as long as you don't get within that range, whether you have some railing or barriers, or you just set it in an area you don't go to often. And the other thing to keep in mind is that you will auto pick up items once you return within 1.5 meters of them after you've left the rendering area. I talked about it a little bit in my board video, but I believe the rendering distance is roughly 150 meters. So if you've left your base and gone out adventuring, when you return, you will run the risk of picking these items up again. I did check to see at what time you would pick them up if you stayed within the area the whole time, and I can say it's at least 6 hours that you can be in the area and you will not auto pick them up. At this point, I got tired of checking it and testing it, so it might never happen if you're within the rendering distance or within the area of the item the whole time, or it just might be something over 6 hours of in-game time. And one last thing I want to point out, if you're going to attempt to make any of these ambient lightings or mess around with some designs, is that the throwing range for your character is 4 meters. So if you toss them out of your backpack, trying to land them in a little bin, it's helpful to know that you need to be 4 meters away from that bin in order to land them in there. I really appreciate all you guys hopping in the comments and letting me know of all the things that I missed. Hopefully this information is all of it and I didn't miss anything more and it was helpful to you guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.